Welcome. Yeah. Fasted. Is you fasted? You fast. Yes. The Christians are fasted as well as even the Muslimin are fasting too. Yeah, welcome to another program of Ripping Your Hair Off Theology, where we have to have everything factually, historically, theologically, as well as etymologically. In Arabic, etymology is known as sarf. Sarf. I think in Urdu it should be sirf. Yeah, so people are fasting, and fasting has been quite a common theme in religious matters. So why do people fast, and what is the purpose of fasting? Like how come you fast? Like how fast can you fast? Why you fast? Hey. So, what is the most common themes people think about fasting is I think this is a human tendency. Is okay, you're fasting, you're creating a sacrifice, and for which you expect to be rewarded. Something like that. Yeah. The Urdu word or the Arabic word for prayer, like when you pray, like praying, is dua. Dua is, so I was thinking, what would dua mean? Like dua is the same word for smoke. Dua. So your words, it goes out as smoke. Or maybe in olden days you used to light incense when you prayed. Even when you go to churches now, some churches, they like to sanctify their premises with some fine frankincense. Yeah, I haven't seen much frankincense around for the past few years. Frankincense, yeah, it's pretty good. It's a very nice smell. I would say, instead of having these awful air fresheners of synthetic dementia, yeah, I think they create like brain dementia and allergies with poor air fresheners. You can use frankincense. Frankincense is like a terrific air freshener. So you purify the air around you, and then you pray. And when you do pray, so you sanctify the air around you, and then you pray. So that's what's called dua, I think. Or maybe it's a different dua. I'm still learning Arabic. I really need to learn more Arabic. Because there's a lot, I would say, so today we're going to talk about theology. Yeah, it's mostly going to be about theology because I talk about different things, and I'm also making bombastic claims to like big things. I'm running for I'm on the federal ballot. I have full plans to say I'm going to take like all 308 radins. So this means like a political preacher. What else are you, sir? A modern day outlaw. Yeah, you can mark me down. I was outlawed from the state of Alberta. A modern day outlaw. Can you get that? Is it like a feather in the cap or something like that, my friend? No, that's such poor lives. That's why we're going to change all those things. So the man is like a political, modern day outlaw preacher that preaches theology. Yeah. Yeah. Theology and run for office. The man run for politics. Okay, back to the thing, fasting. So today we're going to talk about some quite essential things. They are really you haven't really taken a deep dive into. Maybe we'll try and do. One is fasting. Second is polytheism. So I say I would, from most people's opinion, of thinking, what is polytheism? Is it like poly-religion? Is it like believing, subscribing to various religions? That's again, what is polytheism? Is it, would I, if I've been accused of being a polytheist, would I be, well, we're going to hold like a 13th century Spanish Inquisition. This man is guilty of being a polytheist. You just say, polytheologist. Another one, yeah, there's a whole lot of things. So, and the most important thing, very, very important thing is, but the whole matter of theology is the quest. It is a quest. The quest for the kingdom of heaven. Yeah, it's all about heaven, my friend. Heaven. Yes, the purpose of a man, according to Jesus, is finding the kingdom of heaven. In it or international. Yeah, go check it out and see. Read the Bible, reread the Gospels. Again, the Gospels were really not written by Mark, Luke, or Matthew, or John. They were just given those names for appeal, for like what we want to call them, Gospel 1, Gospel 2, Gospel Alpha, Beta, Gamma. Is that what you call them? Or it was made by Romans. Or who was it made by? Paul. Yeah. So we have to like historically look back at religion, with a time scale, with a historical perspective. What shall I sing? Just experimentation too. I've tried like hard fasting in the sense that fasting for 10 days, not eating for 10 days. I even tried not drinking water for 5 days. So, as well as the people do different kind of fasting. Now, what is fasting all about? Is it why do people fast now? Religion, Islam, you are asked to fast for around 40 days, just like Jesus Christ did. Hazrat Isa, Assalamu alaikum, which is the name of Jesus in Holy Islam. Well, it might sanctify us for a little bit to give us a little holier feeling and, give us like a expectant spirit to for our wishes to be granted and all. And hopefully that has happened because God touches on all those things because Allah knows too that we are human beings. Like we need things. He talks about the sparrows on the wall. Not one will fall to the ground. So lilies in all their glory. So naturally, God knows all those things too, and that's another whole thing about praise. What is prayer and what is dua? When getting back to fasting, the act of fasting is for you. It's to build your spirit. Yeah, really. There's such a thing as your spirit. And your spirit is like a little beast or a little child. So now this little child, you only you have a little. All of us are two. One is physical manifestation, the one that we see as count as human beings. And the other is, that little baby that was connected to you in your mother's womb. Now, how did that work? That worked on a liquid or different? That was a different, many ways that was like upside down. So now so we are indeed two. So because we are born of male and female, we are not born of like only male. We're not born of only female. So each one of us has the spirit of the yin and the yang. We have, one is the body and one is the spirit. Sounds extraordinary. Well, you have to think about it now. Think. I'm also like a scientific too. So that is this little baby that you have is like your ego. You can say it's your ego. Like every time like somebody you feel like shouting, or anytime you get upset, it's the little baby getting pissed in you. It's like no. The very spirited person, they say, yeah. So it's that little thing that gets you wiped up, and that is what it is. So you're fasting. So this little baby, it only understands basic things. Like one is like pain. Yeah, you pain and mean hurt my whack. It gets up. Then it understands food. You need food. Natural, it's your natural thing. There is maybe not you that needs the food. It's the little baby that needs the food, and you're just furnishing it to it. And so when you fast, the baby is like, "What's up? Like, what is wrong with you? Like, why? Come on now, go have some pakodas and a hot cup of cocoa." Good. What you say is no can do. That's what fasting is. No can do. You can't hear no pagoda, no cocoa. I can't do it. I can't look at it. No. But so when you're saying no, and that little baby, it's growing. It's growing in spirit, because you're teaching that little baby, which is also your willpower, your will control, your own self. The same way every part of you, but logically as a little animal, as a person, that it's a good thing to go and eat. Like you are hungry, you must eat. Yeah. It's even like a human rights violation for keeping people hungry for more than. That's why when you go to prison, they give you like juice. What do they give you? Apple juice and granola beers. In that fancy set, they're like so well filled, like the state of the art food. We got nuts, like the best high quality protein, granola beers, and juice. It's wonderful. It's like I gotta go get me some granola beers and some juice. I'm loving it over here. That's what fasting's all about. So fasting it builds your spirit. So that's why it also bodies your spirit. It's your willpower, your concentration. It's your own self. It's your body. It's like so. Most of all, when you're building your spirit, fasting, you're building yourself. You're making yourself more stronger, spiritually stronger. Yeah, because the spirit defines the spirituality, and you're making yourself stronger in your abilities. So fasting, of course, it is also for various other psychological and other kind of reasons and theological reasons and blessings and all that, and granting of supplications and such and all, as well as it has health benefits, like tedious health benefits, like a lot of health benefits. But again, you have to be able to fast. Some people can't because of medical conditions like diabetes and losing weight. Like if you were nice, like 83 ideal pounds, I don't want like losing weight. I do not like my hair becoming straight. Yeah, I've encountered two things. Like all of a sudden, my hair has become straight. Straight hair. I used to have curly hair. My hair has become straight, and I have lost a whole little weight. Yeah. So I didn't like it. I'm very worried, like highly possessive with my weight. How can I lose it? Yeah, and my hair is knotting up, so it's like knotting up hill right over here. How to tear your hair out and talk about theology and fasting. Oh yeah. So it makes you stronger. It makes you stronger as well. What are the health benefits? Like, when you start the whole process of you going through fasting is, first of all, you're cutting off nutrition. Have you ever been for a long fast? Like a real long one. Yeah? Like a long one. So in the long fast, first 24 hours are usually most miserable because your body, everything of you wants you to eat, you can't eat. You is not able to eat. And your body say, I'm going to whoop you now. The spirit is saying like, he's whining on his trash on his legs, kicking, he's saying like, I want you to go steal some food right now. Fasting, then after the 24 hours, your body starts like shutting down. So after three days, you will be unable to no more. The whole system gets cleared out, and so you stop. Your input and output stops. And until now, it really doesn't become. It just becomes like you miss the habit of eating. Because think about it, you eat a lot. As in the sense like you was like a chronic muncher. You was like chewing the cud all the time. Yeah, every day, every time. Which is not bad because one of the most important things that people need to do is like eat. Eat I would eat grilled bear and apple juice. So, yeah, like why would my wonderful looks turn straight and fold out? I was almost suspecting like some kind of hazardous loss of hair, sir. And it's become straight. I used to have like bounce in my hair. Now my hair is like baby. I got like the beaver. What do you call it? Beaver tail fever, sir. His hair is like a beaver's tail. So fasting is really good for you because then after 3 or 4 days, your own body, like whatever you don't need, it metabolizes them. So all the fat, you usually have some bad fat and good fat around your organs. It kind of starts munching on that. That's because it starts like finishing all those things, all those reserves that you have. And also, when you go into fasting, your body goes into repair mode. It takes a time like, okay, now the spirit, the spirit takes care of all your digestion. Okay? Use no digesting, my friend. You just acquire. You're on the acquisition team. Your spirit, yep, there's two parts of you. That's a whole part of it. That's what we're talking about. Theology has stopped making sense because you really forgot about what is the kingdom of heaven, what are you, who we are, like where you are. Theology and, it's really, certain people, again, talking about theology is pretty hard because people take offenses, but believe me, I've experienced several religions. Now, religions are different than theology, is it? Is it or not? Let's talk about the word polytheism. And then later on, getting back to fasting and talking about fasting and finishing up with fasting, is then you become pretty weak. And after some time, you really... wanted to go for like the whole 30 days like Jesus Christ did, like Hazrat Isa. I think, isn't that in the Bible that Jesus fasted for 30 days? It's possible, like, those fine Irish Republicans, they fasted for like 60 days, like, all those in the Irish prisons. It's quite admirable, like the amount of days that they fast. But after some time, it become like, I have so much time to do so many other things. I don't really have to think about food. It's like, I think I'm going to go watch a movie or something like that. Because your body shuts down and like... So, all in all, fasting, of course, it is good for your spirit. It is actually for your spirit. It is for you. Okay? So, again, fasting, now different people fast different ways. For example, some people fast chocolate only, some people fast food, and some people fast all kind of things. They try to find the thing that gives them the most happiness, the most thing, and they try to give that up. Why? Can you fast like addictions? Like it's like too much to ask. Some people some people get disheartened too that they are unable to fast. Some people they just can't fast. But again, the spirit, that's how you develop the spirit. You have to. That is the teachings of Jesus Christ. Is you got to develop your spirit. Himmat badao, man. So you have to develop your own spirit. That's the reason why you fast. That's the reason why you put yourself, because your body, it only understands few things. One is good like pleasure, as in like good dopamine. That's why it's called dope. You gotta get yourself some dope, sir. The music is dope. And the other one is pain. And then all the basic things, hunger is what a baby in a belly would understand. That is the vocabulary of your little spirit. It is like the yin and the yang. So the yin and the yang is one. It is like the parasympathetic nervous system and the sympathetic nervous system. I think I've spoken. I have a few truth classes about this too. It is like scientifically, don't we have a conscious and a subconscious? So consciously, I'm playing with my hair. Like subconsciously, my heartbeat has been regulated. My digestion is happening. My hormone process is working. My blood circulation is happening. Now, if all that stuff was up to me, I would be like a long time ago, because we're really not so diligent. I can't take care of those things 24 hours. So there's two parts of you, amigos, hombres, hermanos. There is only two parts of you. Ra, Ban, E. This one and that one. Yeah, there's only two. We also, biologically, we call it the synthetic nervous system and parasympathetic nervous system. Was it? So one part of you is taking care of your hormones and your endocrine system and all your respiratory system and your other kind of brain circulation, all those things. And the other side of you is talking to you, and trying to talk about theology and polytheism. And what else can we talk about? Yeah. So let's get in. I hope you got about fasting. So the fasting is mostly, quite essentially, good for you, and it takes out all the fat around your organs. It takes out all the bad fat around your organs, as well as it purifies you, as well as any kind of sores, injuries, and all. Your body says, okay, let's go take that and make that into new cells. We're going to reprocess these things, because we're here to live. There's no food around here, so we might as well devour the fat around this man's liver, or especially the kidneys. And also, so the spirit, more the difficulties the spirit, the little baby that experiences into you, the more pain and the more suffering and the more starvation and the more. That is why you see the message of Jesus on the Sermon on the Mount. Like, what would you stand on a mount and say? That Paul was right? St. Paul was the man that you got to believe in? Is that what you would say? No. Jesus' message on the sermon is of the most imperative about Christianity. It is the Beatitudes. I think the Christian called them the Beatitude, the be all kind of attitudes. Now, in the Beatitudes, is there a Bible around here? Yeah, I think, but I can't. I don't want to waste your time. Let me see if I know or rattle it off. I don't really know, but there are quite a few which make paradoxically zero sense with your quest for reasons to give humility and gratitude. Yeah, what do you remember? Let me see now. What was the last humility and gratitude you've been given about? Is like all the things that you have, all the goodnesses you have, all the wonderful things that you have in your life, and all those things. But when you look at the Beatitudes, it's opposite of any of that. It's no food, hungry, poor, destitute, give away stuff, isn't it? Go read the Beatitudes. Go read the messages. Blessed are the poor, for theirs is whatever, the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. And there's a whole load of them. I would suggest you go, if you want to call yourself a Christian, a real follower of Jesus. Them's real follower of Jesus. I would say the emphasis would be on the Sermon on the Mount, found in Gospel 1. Yeah, what shall we call them? Gospels. It's, again, the Gospels, you have to look at it historically too. The Gospels were written 100 years after Jesus or Hazrat Isa. The documents were found. Now, for example, "100 years from now, if somebody wrote about this, how accurate would they be? How right would they be?" But yet in those days, I think certain imperative things, they were kept verbally. Yeah. And also the messages of Jesus, I think Jesus knew about all these things because he's quite a intelligent person, Son of Man. Now, also the question is, why does Jesus call himself Son of Man? I yet to find that answer. You need to tell me why. I think he calls himself same with the prophet Ezekiel. Why does he call himself Son of Man? Maybe it was like a term in those days. Was it? Got to find out. Okay, back to polytheism. So taking the word polytheism. So poly means many, theo means God. Ism is following. So poly, God, follower. So am I a polyglot follower? This is my opening statement, so in your trial, your two-bit trial, am I a polyglot follower? No. I believe there's only one God. Yes, and that's possible. That's possible if you're a Muslim, because you say La ilaha illallah. So there is no other God but Allah. It is possible if you're a Christian too. After all, there's no other God but one God. In that, look up your, that is a fundamental law, those are the laws of Moses. We ain't no other God except one God. This is true, we only believe in one God. Then of course for the Jews and Hebrews, there's only one God too, my friend. You can't have like two gods in Judaism. No, there's only one God. So, even the Hindus too, in the end, like they might have like avatars of all kind of things, but in the end there's only one. There's one singular, one God. Right? So, there is all one God. Of course, so polytheism is belief in several gods. Like, no, there's no several gods, my friend. There's one. You got to have your focus on one. So there's no one God. Polytheism is belief in different gods. No, there's only one Spirit, Holy Spirit. And didn't Jesus say, the Holy Spirit, the kingdom of heaven is within you? Yeah? See if that's a real verse. While I put in like splurge on my sage oil. See if there's a real verse or a universe. So Jesus Christ of Islam is that he starts speaking from day one now. I mean, I don't know if that can be scientifically proven, but also the Jesus of Islam, he is considered to be a real son of a virgin. Yeah, his mother, the virgin birth of Jesus Christ is firmly confessed and confirmed. If some religion is talking about you outside of your Bible, then also it is adding glory to your Christianity. There's nothing. I say the prophet Hazrat Isa, he has more respect and more regard and more holiness and more reverence in Islam than in Christianity. So if you look at it, so this baby is like born speaking, like from first day. When do babies start talking? 4 years or 3 years or so. That's one miracle. And second one is the virgin birth. The virgin birth is actually clinically, medically possible nowadays. I believe there was a case. There's a real case of a real virgin giving birth. Because the reason why it's possible is when they're actually two little embryos together, and one develops and the other one is located right on the embryo of the other one. So, at the right time, the other baby comes out and is born, descends in the tube. So it's clinically possible for a virgin to give birth and have birth. So the miracle of Jesus is also scientific. So the virgin birth is really not, it's like a far stretch for everyone to claim all the time, every time, because it's a very rare case. It's like a case in one, I think maybe I would have guesstimated it's as rare as having two sets of twins. Yeah, like who would have like suitors? I don't think so. So the whole thing about virginity is like once in a blue moon that happens, and it's like clinically possible. So when they do like a genetic test on the child is actually a twin. Children are two twins. It is quite an amazing medical case, I would say. So that validates that maybe Mary too was like really a virgin. Yeah, that's what's believed in Islam. It's possible that it was a twin and the twin was stuck on the ovary and she gave birth to Jesus. And then the thing is, do you know what the story about Mary now? Now Mary in Islam she's the daughter of a high priest or a holy priest. So when father, the high priest, is been blessed and all, they've always been blessing him that you have a fine son who will be like a good high priest, have a fine son who's going to be a good high priest, and fine son who's going to be a high priest. Everybody's son. And then when they're born, she's a daughter. So then she's born with a daughter, and so what does she do? She goes and stays in the temple. Now, when daddy's around, now where would you spend your time if daddy is a high priest? Would you spend it at like the 7-Eleven, or would you like spend it in the temple, or the mosque, or the holy sanctuary, the tabernacle? Yeah. So Jesus has spent all this time sitting as like a fully developed twin, but only thing is like a miniature size. So it's like a little diamond, fully thing, all ready to go, except waiting and listening. They are listening, and so I think maybe he was able to speak naturally, like because he had been sitting 14 years. Like how old was Mary when Jesus was born? I wouldn't know. Like, does it mention in any of the books? The marriageable age. Yeah, because she's married to Joseph. Yusuf. Yeah, that's the name of Joseph in Islam. And all the while, the baby is sitting and listening to everybody's conversation with stereoscopic ears. Like, yeah. So you grow up holy. So Jesus was a really, really, really holy child right from when he was in the time of his mother's womb, or Mary's womb. So it's like scientifically possible. So indeed, Christianity and religion and theology has to line up scientifically, and like Israel is theologically and historically and mathematically too, as also with the like legally like laws. So the fundamental law, getting back to the polytheism, the fundamental law of Moses and of all religions is that there's only one God. Same with the Judaism, same with the Hebrews, same with the Muslims. Again, by the way, the word Musal Iman with Siraf, I'm talking Saraf. People will say Musalman means surrender to the will of Allah. Of course, that is there. But there's something else. I'm talking about the word literally. I think the Musal Iman, I think means the one who follows the Iman of Hazrat Musa, Assalamu alaikum. Yeah, would that be it? So quite essentially, it's the same God. You're following, you're in the Musa, God is Prophet Moses. Okay, I got to sing now. Like, what can I sing? So, we're talking about polytheism. Yeah, polytheism. No, I is known to polytheism because I believe in one God and everything. I don't believe in several gods. I don't believe like in Jupiter and Zeus and all them fine gentlemen. This is you now. I don't know. So there's been one, and that's the spirit, and that's the kingdom of heaven. So the imperative of Christianity is also even Islam too. Even now, well, maybe I'm wrong. Like somebody should go. If they think differently, they're most welcome to their opinions. And I do humbly apologize if I hurt or anything I'm feeling, but it's always coming from goodwill. It's because of unification of all the religions of the world, to get into the essence. What is the purpose of religion? Like, what exactly is religion? Is your religion? I think in the 13th century AD or so, again, we got to look it up historically. We lost a whole lot of knowledge. I think the Egyptians were pretty dip on it, because the Egyptian burial is a testament to their knowledge about your spirit, the little baby, and the other one is the conscious and unconscious. I like to stumble on it. It's going to take you forever, maybe you never, to realize that you're two. That one of you is the conscious and one of you is subconscious. So subconscious, your parasympathetic and the synthetic nervous system. It's your yin and the yang. So it really you have to invest in yourself. So when you go through trials and tribulations and you think about why me, Lord, why am I suffering? It is maybe God is putting you through the furnace of fire. To purify silver, you have to put it through a little bit of the works. So when you get to the works and you find life is full of the works, believe it or not, you only learn through the works. When I say the works I mean trials and hardship and tribulations, like difficulties and loss and pain and challenges, hunger and fasting and starvation. Why would you want to? Why can't you be is there a religion that bans fasting? You will know every 4 hours you will eat. That kind of religion you should have joined. So it's the unification of the religions, because even the Jews, Christians, and Muslims are one. Use the same, so use spread of the same gap. So fasting, my friends, I hope you're enjoying your fasting. Well, because I'm not, I'm a little bit of art of practice. When your whole life is a fast, I Like, what is your fasting? What would you consider fasting? I only eat once a day. Yeah, because in the morning you usually don't have time or really eat. So I'm like a monk. I eat like once, but the once is like the tiger is eating. Have you seen the tiger eat? Yeah, hell yeah, sure, the tiger eats that. Huh? Did yeah, granola balls and apple juice. Yeah, so that's why I'm running for politics. I'm running for. Really, politics has become a bad word. Like most people, when you tell them that you're running for politics, they look at you like in a despicable manner. It's like, yeah, it's like a dirty profession, my friend. It's like, what exactly do you mean it's dirty? Like, why has it become dirty now? That's what is that what your king is? And what is a politician's job? Is to make laws of royal assent. Royal assent, like, by the way, to be royal, you have to have the kingdom of heaven within you. Only one who has found the kingdom of heaven. And Jesus said, where's the kingdom of heaven? It's within you. Yeah, it's within you. It's only that you is king. Now look at David now. How was his life? Look at the life of David. Like Dawood Ali Pasha. Dawood. King David, also his works are actually very sacred to the. If you look at the Quran, have you listened to the Quran? The Quran was written over 23. It was a compilation of the sayings of the Holy Prophet Rasulullah Muhammad. Rasul, I think, I was trying to get the Sirf word of Rasul. I wonder if anybody knows the Sirf of Rasul. Now, I think the meaning Rasul means Rahasul. That means maybe secret one. A secret is like a message, a secret messenger or prophet of Allah. Allah is the word for one God. La ilaha illallah. Hope I'm saying it right and I'm not missing a word. La. La means no. So there's no other God but one God. Like the Adonai, the Hebrews. Yeah, let me give you like a good, a little diamond, sir, the size of Texas, about the meaning of Adonai. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you don't know the meaning of Adonai. Adonai is the word used by the Hebrews, or the ones that were carried away captive into Babylon. Weren't you carried away? And Ezra reestablished the Hebrew religion in Israel, didn't you, Israel? Is that true or not? So the captives, the God of the captives was Adonai, right? Ain't it? Is it ain't or ain't it, sir? Adonai. Now Adonai is the name of the God of the Hebrews. Again, the Adonai is from Persia. Wasn't it? Because you've been living for how many centuries were the Jews carried away into Persia? That's why I'm talking about. Religion has to add up. It has to add up historically, linguistically, theologically, scientifically. And then because you're wasting so much of time, you're spending so much of time on religion, you might as well, not waste it. I misspoke. It's possible to misspeak, okay? So, like once I was at a party and I was saying, oh, thank you, bro. I said, blow. Again, like when you use a word like blow, it becomes, bro becomes bo. It becomes like crazy. Whoa. So it's possible to misspeak. If you need any clarifications I'll give you. So, what else were we going to talk about? The kingdom of heaven. Yeah, the kingdom of heaven. You have to have the kingdom of within heaven within you, and so that is why royalty. That is the meaning of royalty, and you have real royalty, and then the law it flows from you. Welcome. Yeah. Fasted is you fast. You fast. Yes. The Christians are fasted as well as even the Muslimin are fasting too. Yeah, welcome to another program of Ripping Your Hair Off Theology, where we have to have everything factually, historically, theologically, as well as etymologically. In Arabic, etymology is known as sarf. Sarf. I think in Urdu it should be sirf. Yeah, so people are fasting, and fasting has been quite a common theme in religious matters. So why do people fast, and what is the purpose of fasting? Like how come you fast? Like how fast can you fast? Why you fast? Hey. So, what is the most common themes people think about fasting is the. I think this is a human tendency. Is okay, you're fasting, you're creating a sacrifice, and for which you expect to be rewarded. Something like that. Yeah. The Urdu word or the Arabic word for prayer, like when you pray, like praying, is dua. Dua is. So I was thinking, what would dua mean? Like dua is the same word for smoke. Dua. So your words, it goes out as smoke. Or maybe in olden days you used to light incense when you prayed. Even when you go to churches now, some churches they like to sanctify their premises with some fine frankincense. Yeah, I haven't seen much frankincense around for the past few years. Frankincense, yeah, it's pretty good. It's a very nice smell. I would say instead of having these awful air fresheners of synthetic dementia, yeah, I think they create like brain dementia and allergies with poor air fresheners. You can use frankincense. Frankincense is like a terrific air freshener. So you purify the air around you, and then you pray. And when you do pray, so you sanctify the air around you, and then you pray. So that's what it's called. Dua, I think. Or maybe it's a different dua. I'm still learning Arabic. I really need to learn more Arabic. Because there's a lot, I would say, so today we're going to talk about theology. Yeah, it's mostly going to be about theology because I talk about different things, and I'm also making bombastic claims to like big things. I'm running for I'm on the federal ballot. I have full plans to serve. I'm going to take like all 308 radins. So this man is like a political preacher. What else are you, sir? A modern day outlaw. Yeah, you can mark me down. I was outlawed from the state of Alberta. A modern day outlaw. Can you get that? Is it like a feather in the cap or something like that, my friend? But no, that's such poor lives. That's why we're going to change all those things. So the man is like a political, modern day outlaw preacher that preaches theology. Yeah. Yeah. Theology and running for office. The man running for politics. Okay, back to the thing, fasting. So today we're going to talk about some quite essential things. They are really